everybody, and welcome to Whiskey Network.
This is another one of your bad ideas.
This is a bad idea because I'm drinking what you paid for.
Christmas.
Hi, Rob.
The clap. What?
What? That's how you want to start this one? Terrible dad joke? Is that how you want?
It just
Would that be a dad
baffles
joke?
me that we have to clap 3 times. We're not.
We just want to make sure that our videos are of the highest quality and that they look the absolute best.
We should aim higher.
We have, it's all on us. And this on the facial
Yep.
part. It's a brand new year, Rob.
I got a new haircut today.
Oh, did you? I didn't even notice.
I know it's a little hard to tell anymore.
I didn't mean that. No, I hadn't.
Yeah, you paid for that, huh? Cut them both? What?
I hadn't seen you. We're back from our break and everything and time off. And
Yeah.
So, no, I didn't know what you had done there with your hair.
Nothing, ever.
It's a brand new year. Here we go. We're rolling into it. But we are going to look back.
Are we?
Now, Rob, we are.
New year. Rather
year,
than looking forward, we're going to take 2 steps back.
I think in order to look into a new year,
I can't live through 2020 again.
you have to remember what's happened in our past, right?
I don't remember what happened yesterday.
I know you don't. Yeah, you do. It was Monday. There couldn't have been that much interesting stuff going on yesterday. But there was December 2022. No, December 2020. It's 2022 right now. It's 2022. See what I did there? Okay.
Not going there.
Back in December of 2020, I got us a couple of bottles of what we're drinking right here.
We can scratch that up to another in the long list of bad ideas by you.
Bespoken spirits from California. The reason why I'm bringing this up again, because I came across another lengthy article about creating whiskey in a matter of minutes compared to years, decades in some instances. And I'm fascinated by this science. And I wanted to go back and talk about it again, since we've had a year to reflect. You've spent at least that long thinking about this, haven't you, Rob?
About chemically engineered whiskey?
Yeah. When was the last time it crossed your mind?
When did we do this? December
2020.
20? Yeah, about then.
What it was? Okay. It's kind of what I thought. So I wanted to bring this back.
In fact, you said we were doing something different down here today, so I prepared myself.
You did.
In a whole different vein. Oh, that's a lie. I didn't do any of that either.
And again, this just goes back to show you who puts all of this together and does the legwork.
Well, you have to do the legwork if you're really going to be the one changing it before I know that that's even a thing.
I want to keep it fresh for 2020, Rob.
So let's go back to 2020. You're keeping it fresh by going back to...
That's what we're doing. Because, and here's my reason for doing this. I want to see some growth out of us. That's what I'm hoping for in this.
My wife's been hoping for it for 30 years. It ain't working out too good so far.
To see if we've learned anything on our time of doing this little video series that we've done. Okay? When we first started this, you enjoyed a particular whiskey. I didn't really know much about any of it. But I really wanted to learn.
Yeah, you've grown a lot.
I think so. I think I have.
Yeah, because you came in here thinking that you liked Lagavulin.
I know, that's
because
how
some idiot on television told you to like Lagavulin and you thought he was cool, and here we are.
I was so easily manipulated then. Man, that was terrible. But
Welcome to the club.
It was the peanut butter whiskey where this whole thing came about, and I still love that. So, give and take, all right? So anyway, going back to this whiskey that can be made in a matter of days. You've tried it now.
Yeah.
Do you remember a year ago drinking it?
No, I remember we did it. I remember at the time thinking that maybe it was okay, but it tasted, maybe psychosomatically, it gave me the impression that it was manufactured.
What do you think now?
Kind of the same thing.
Really? So it hasn't improved?
I don't know. I didn't know this was happening, so I didn't go back and watch the video from a year ago.
Well, and I suppose you wouldn't really remember how it tasted a year ago either, would you?
No, I'm not that good.
Well, when I did watch the video, and we didn't drink it.
Could have told a fella.
We didn't drink it with ice or water. We drank it totally neat. So this is the first time I'm having it with how I like to drink bourbon, with some ice in it or some water in it. And I like it. I do. I think it's unique enough to where I would probably keep it in the bar. If it was available out here, which it is not. You still can't find this anywhere out here yet.
I think it's swallowable.
Sure.
It's okay.
How is it on the swallow?
I think it finishes fairly bland. I don't think there's a lot to it. I mean, on the mouth it feels okay. Mm-hmm. Down the gullet, it just goes away.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing to it.
Well, and it's, again, how this stuff is made is whiskey is distilled, it's put in a barrel, it sits for 4 years, they bottle it, and you buy it. That's how most bourbon and whiskey's done. What they do with this is they take they call them micro staves. So like the Eden Oak
yeah,
has a stave in it. Those little branches that are the barrel, okay, that are charred or whatever. Well, they break that down to little tiny pieces, and they put a whole bunch of them into their activator that they call it, and then they just constantly force pressure in and out, in and out, in and out.
It's like an iron lung.
Yeah, I suppose that would be a very weird way to describe this. Nicely done, Rob.
Uh-huh.
So that's how they get the whiskey flavor into it. This one, their bourbon that they call, actually goes into a barrel for about 3 months. What Rob is drinking there is made from bourbon mash, but I don't think sits in a barrel at all. That literally is made in 5 days, put in a bottle, put on a shelf. This one's aged a little bit. And in the article I was reading, they were talking about more and more companies are now doing this. Even one of the companies that's associated with Macallan is now getting into this field too. So it's not just these startups like Bespoken, but it's also some of these much bigger, more well-known distillers.
The article that you mentioned talked about reverse engineering it. So they're basically looking at it from a chemical spectrograph, and matching those profiles.
I believe that was, hold on, let me pull out my cheat sheet. This was just too much to write down. I believe that was Endless West, which is one of the companies along with Lost Spirits that does this. And they do reverse engineering. They claim that they can take any beverage, whiskey, bourbon, scotch, wine, they can reverse engineer it and create the exact same thing for, a fraction of the cost. A $1,300 bottle of scotch they could sell you for $25, and they claim it'll taste exactly the same way.
Here's where I have issue.
Okay.
Listeners, viewers. This 375 milliliter pile of chemical whatever, you paid $30 for.
Right.
Which to me translates to a $60 bottle of bourbon.
Okay. I see where you're going.
Guess what, people? You can buy a pretty good bottle of bourbon for $60.
So let's say they would drop a price of something like this down to $15.
To me, that's a $7 bottle if you can make it in 2 days. Right? I mean, you should be paying more for the glass than the contents.
Okay, so let's say you're taking this to, let's say the markets open up in countries like India and China and places like that for this kind of whiskey. Jack Daniel's can't get the product over there fast enough, right? Let's say tomorrow India says you can import all of the American whiskeys. Who's going to win that race? It's not going to be Jack Daniel's. It's not going to be Jim Beam. It's going to be these guys.
Sure.
That can get that stuff over there. And I think, that might be the end game, right?
Well, but I don't think Jack Daniel's, to use them as the litmus test here, they're not going to be willing to sacrifice their process and their quality to get things over there in market.
You don't think they would? Imagine the sales. They would be the first $1 trillion whiskey company. They'd be like Apple and Amazon.
But to that end, I don't think Jim Beam or Wild Turkey or Woodford or any, they might develop a different product altogether, but I don't think there's any way that somebody with with the tradition and the heritage that somebody like Jack Daniels has, they're not going to go, oh, this is old number 7.5. You know,
Do you think they ever would? Do you think a company like that would ever start to do it this way? If they could just get it close, do you think they would?
My bet would be that they would come up with another brand under the Brown-Forman umbrella.
A total offshoot. It would have
Yeah.
to be completely not associated at all.
That would be my guess. I mean, I don't have my ins with the marketing team at Brown-Forman.
I don't even know why I have you on the show.
I know
It's the whole reason I asked you to do this is because you kind of knew those guys.
I know a guy that knows a guy in Jack Daniels, but I don't have him on speed dial.
That's a problem. We're going to work on that.
If you're going to be able to do that, if you're going to charge a premium price, it's got to be a premium product. And although this is swallowable, I wouldn't consider this a premium product.
Maybe not yet. Maybe someday it'll get there. Because as we move forward and as technology keeps advancing at the stupidly fast pace that it does, even 400 years ago when they were making whiskey, the goal was to make it faster, to create that product quicker.
Yeah, but the good things can't be rushed.
Well, and that's an argument, obviously. But you can't tell me that these guys wouldn't want to pump out.
I can scan a picture of the Mona Lisa, print it out, and it's going to look like the Mona Lisa from over there.
But you would rather steal it from the Louvre.
Yeah, kind of. Is that where it's at?
It's at the Louvre, yeah. I've been there, by the way.
I'm sure you have. I don't know.
And it's tiny. The Mona Lisa is tiny. It's no bigger
they
than,
weren't very big.
It's not much bigger than that monitor.
People were smaller back then.
Is that what it was?
Smaller we weren't churning out Shaquille O'Neal every other Tuesday.
But you go look at the statue of David. Those were huge. They were giant. You can't say it's because the people were smaller. Oh my God. I hope this is not an indication about 2022 plays out. Oh my God.
How did you think this
I
was
don't
gonna
know.
go?
I didn't think we'd be here though.
Maybe the sculptor's delusions of grandeur.
Oh boy, maybe. Let's see.
6 inches is enough, right?
You know what's interesting about that? Can I tell you what's interesting about that? Can I?
I'm not sure I'm ready for this, but yeah, go ahead.
Do you know? Really, this is so off topic. So you look at those statues from back then, right? And they're usually nude statues, right, of the men, right? And you'll notice
they have nude statues of the women as well.
Anatomically, they're generally small, right?
See, people were
But at that time, that was considered prestigious. That was why they were carved like that. Boy,
we've come a long ways in
wrap this
a few hundred years, apparently.
MountainWestWhiskeyFestival.com is where you get your tickets for the event coming up March 5th. And I think it is going to be easily the best one.
I could be wrong, but I think the platinum tickets are.
Are they gone?
They're not gone, but they're close to it. So if you get this and are looking and are wanting a platinum ticket.
Well, the next best would be VIP then.
And the VIPs,
when those gone, then the next best is just general admission.
Just show up.
And then when those are gone, we'll see you in 2023.
Probably.
Okay? Maybe. Anyway, if you ever get your hands on some of these.
I think they're worth
a try.
A try.
Yeah.
I mean, they're certainly not my favorite. I think the bourbon is better than the mash. I would be interested to try the reverse engineered a little.
I'll be looking.
As long as you're not trying to, if you're trying to engineer a $1,300 Macallan, I don't want you to charge me $1,250 for it.
That's a good point.
$12 maybe.
Bespoken Spirits. Endless spirits and lost
hope.
Maybe that's what that was called. Lost something, I don't remember.
Where's your cheat sheet?
I know, I should be looking at that, but I don't have my glasses. Oh yeah, I do, they're in my pocket. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us here on Whiskey.